Shabbat Shalom and welcome to Temple Israel of Greater Miami. I'm Rabbi Amy Morrison, joined on the bima by very close friend and incredible cantorial soloist Mason Duboff. We are all coming together this Shabbat for Camp Shabbat. How can I forget Maria Ayerbe, our almost Grammy Award-winning song technician and WNBA basketball player. We have Jeannie Bernard, who does everything around here. Mark Teitelbaum, our VP of Administration, who truly keeps the roof open. But let's just show you what's going on right now. This is what we're keeping open. Can you guys all see this? We are doing amazing construction work here, even on Shabbat. And so we welcome, and Brian Kellert, our Director of Engagement and Youth, we welcome all of you to Camp Shabbat. We are in an incredible situation here at Temple Israel. We have 40 potential kids that could go to Jewish sleepaway camp in our religious school that are the correct age that could go to Jewish sleepaway camp, and we are sending 13 of them this summer. That is a humongous percentage in any synagogue, and it is a huge source of pride for both Brian and myself, as this is the world we come out of and the world that we know creates Jewish futures for the generations that follow. So this evening, although you will be able to follow along in the prayer book in the chat component of Zoom, we will be led, we will be led by our families and our campers that will be going to Jewish sleepaway camp. We'll spotlight them, you will see them. You can also comment on how excited and proud you are of them in the chat part of Zoom. And if you're joining us on YouTube, you can clap out loud where you are and we will feel you here. So this evening, you can see these gorgeous peonies that are on the bima. Mark, I see you in the screen. I cannot believe it has been a year, but these are in memory of your father and his yahrzeit this week. We think about Mark and Mark's father, Jack Nedlin, and we think of all of the beautiful smiles that he brought. And when I think about that brand new car that he had, it was pretty incredible. What a great character, and we hope that his memory keeps all of us smiling. This evening, we are going to start with a song written by Nava Tehila, a song called Zamru. You can find the words in the lyrical supplement that will be copied into the chat momentarily. We hope that you will sing along. Mason, let's do this.
Zamru Adonai Bechinor Bechol Zimra Zamru Adonai Bechinor Bechol Zimra Zamru Adonai Bechinor Bechol Zimra Zamru Adonai Bechinor Bechol Zimra
So it is wonderful to have so many of you guys joining us. Really, it has been a little sad to have religious school without our kids in the building, or our youngest congregants in the building, but to see you all on the screen is pretty amazing. And usually at this point, I ask Pat to give me some undertones of music. Mason, will you just do a little strummaroo while I welcome so many of you who are joining us tonight? I say Shabbat Shalom to Aiden and Keith and Rachel, to Alice Miller, to Brian Leslie, to Bunny, to Carla and Enrique, Diane Lindner, Susan Solman, and I bet Denise Radijak is there, to EC Dubs and to Bridget Kabibi, to Everton Diaz, Francis Siegel, the Gorlick family, iPhone, joining us yet again this week, to Yvonne Linares, Jacob Berkovici, to Jay Novick, to Jenny and Maya Litz, to Jim Sarah and to Jose, to Julia Zayas and Stella Zayas, to Lana and Karen, to Laura Schulman and her parents, Rebecca and Alan, to Mark Lamb, Mark Nedlin, and to Cookie, to Michael Graubert, to Haley Newman, Jesse Newman, Jonathan Newman, Brenda Newman, yes, you're on screen, put that book away, Jess, to Norma Orovitz and Michael, to Paula, Phyllis Littman, to Reagan, oh, Rebecca's on there, to Richard Lee, to Richard Steinbook, and also to Stella and to her parents who are both there with us, to my dad and my mom and my grandma, to the Zapatas, to Bridget Kabibi, to Eve Pinder, to Susan, as well as to all of you who are joining us on YouTube. It is great to have you here and to be together, at least virtually, for a little bit longer on the screen. We are going to continue now with the lighting of the Shabbat candles. I'm going to ask Maya and Jenny Litz to jump off the couch. It's pretty amazing to sit in the couch on Shabbat. I am going to light the candles physically as you guys lead us in the prayers.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kedeshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahalak ner shal Shabbat.
Blessed
Amen.
Amen.
God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Amen. I'm in stereo here. Oh God, we are going to continue. I'm going to ask EC Dubs to unmute yourself as Ezra Kabibi Wilkin leads us on page 7. Where has this week vanished?
Where has this week vanished?
Really thinking about
Is it lost forever? Will I ever recover anything from it?
it.
The joy of
Where
life,
has it vanished?
the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the
We
test.
can't even find EC Dubs.
I'm right here.
So I'm going to go ahead in a moment and lead it on his behalf, unless Bridget wants to unmute herself.
Hang on a second.
Okay.
He was reading it.
I'm going to go
not
ahead
sure
and
why
read it.
you
And
didn't
Ezra, you
hear
can
him.
join in with your brother a little bit later to read. Page 7. Where has this week vanished? Is it lost forever? Will I ever recover anything from it? The joy of life and the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the task accomplished. Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain and the sting of defeat? And the heaviness of boredom. Okay, pick it up there, EC Dubs, on this day. One sec, honey.
On this day, let me keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must return. On this day, Shabbat abide. Help me to withdraw for a while from the flight of time, contain the retreat of the hours and the days from the grasp of frantic life. Let me learn to pause, if only for this day. Let me find peace on this day. Let me enter into a quiet world on this day. On this day, Shabbat abide.
Thank you, Ezra. And Ezra will be going to the Science and Technology Camp this summer, the URJ SciTech 6 points. And I forgot to say that Maya Litz, who read initially, will be going to URJ Camp Coleman. So as we move through, we will have so many different camps represented. Even in our congregation tonight, we have someone going to Creative Arts Academy 6 points, as well as Camp Coleman. So we are well represented. I know you are all loving the view that you're getting right now, and this is because we are under construction. Again, one more time, just so you see what's going on here. Can they see that? I don't even see my screen, but we're going to spotlight that. A little Mark Teitelbaum action. This is what's going on in here. So we are getting ready so that we can bring you all back at some point, hopefully soon. So we are now continuing with some Kabbalat Shabbat singing. Mason is going to bring in that joy of Shabbos.
I hope you'll join me at home for bim bam bim 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 bam bim 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 chiri biri biri bim bam bim 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 bam bim 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 bam. Shabbat shalom.
Hey.
Shabbat shalom.
Hey,
Shabbat 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 shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat 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 shalom. Shabbat 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 shalom. Shabbat 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 shalom. Shabbat shalom. Hey, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat 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 shalom. Hine ma tovu manayim. Shevet achim gam yachad.
How good is it for us to sit together on screen?
Shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov. Shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov. Shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov umanayim. 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 Shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov. Yalalai, yalalalalai. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov. Yalalai, yalalalalai. Hine ma tov umanayim. Shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov umanayim. Shevet achim gam yachad.
That was a mega mix. That was the Hine Matov mega mix. Mark, you're getting a lot of shout outs for spearheading this construction. Well deserved. So we are going, and Ezra, ECW, you got a lot of shout outs for your Fabu reading. We are going to continue though now with the singing of Lechadodi on pages 20 and 21. Oh, more, Mark, all I had to do was say your name and people are just, it's like you're Pat Seymour, the pianist. We are going to continue on page 20 with the singing of Lechadodi. We're joining in verses 1, 2, 5, and 9.
Lechadodi, Likrat Kala, Pene Shabbat, Nekavela. Lechadodi, Likrat Kala, Pene Shabbat, Nekavela. Shemor vezachor, Vidibor Echad, Ki Hishmiyanu El Cham Yuchad. Adonai Echad Ushemo Echad. L'Shem Ultif Eret Velitchila. Lechadodi Likrat Kala, Pene Shabbat Nekavela. Lechadodi Likrat Kala, Pene Shabbat Nekavela. Likrat Shabbat Lechu Venelcha, Ki hi Mekor HaBeracha. Mirosh Mikedem Nesucha, Sof Ma'aseh Machshava Tchila. Lechadodi Likrat Kala, Pene Shabbat Nekavela. Lechadodi Likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela.
Verse 5.
Hitoreri, Kiva orech, Kumi uri, Shir daberi, Kavod Adonai, Alayich nigla, Alecha dodi, Likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Alecha dodi, Likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela.
We rise and face the door if you are able for verse 9.
Boi veshalom, ateret bala, gam besimcha utzola, toch emunei am segula. Boi kala, Lecha dodi, Likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi, Likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela.
You may be seated. That is Alana Arian's version, and she sings that We Have a Voice. My voice is powerful, my fave, that we are not singing tonight, but you could all play it on your, what were we talking about tonight? Napster? What was it?
LimeWire.
LimeWire. You could all just go download it, watch it, listen to it. So we are going to continue on page 28. I did invite you to sit down, so I'm going to do a reading so that I'm not getting you up and down. We are on actually page 29 first. Oh God, you're as near as the very air we breathe, and yet farther than the farthest most star. We yearn to reach you, and we seek the light and warmth of your presence. Though we say you are near, we feel lonely and alone sometimes. So let our desire be so strong that it will tear the veil that keeps you from our sight. Let your light release our darkness and reveal the glory and the joy of your presence. Amen. We are going to now rise, if you are able, as we begin to prepare for our service, which has yet to start. As we arrive at the Baruch Hu, I invite you to rise, if you are able, and turn to page 28.
Yalla la la la, yalla la la la, yalla la la la, yalla la la la, yalla la la, yalla la la la, yalla la la la, yalla la la la. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Yalla la la la, yalla la la la, yalla la la la, yalla la la, yalla la la la, yalla la la la, yalla la la la, yalla la la la. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed, Le'olam va'ed. Yalla la la la, yalla la la la, yalla la la la, yalla la la la, yalla la la, yalla la la la, yalla la la la, yalla la la la.
You may be seated. In a moment, we will continue on page 30. That's a heads up for you, Stella Steinbook. I see Bev and Darren are frozen on my screen, so we will give them a second. Again, I am so excited to be joined on the Bima by cantorial soloist Mason Duboff. Mason and I have spent many years together singing, and leading youth and traveling to Israel and playing Beyblades and doing about everything in between. And so it is great to lead our congregation, my congregation, our Bima tonight. And I just want to let you know there is a lot of cats that are enjoying your voice.
I also wanted to mention that
Really?
I love a Shabbat with cats, and also that I'm lucky enough to know so many of these families who have joined us. And so I just want to say Shabbat Shalom to all of you who I know and to those who I don't know. It's so great to be here. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, I see the Stein books are unfrozen. They have melted and thawed. So Stella, I'm going to ask you to lead us on page 30, or the supplementary prayer reading that our religious school students wrote. You can find it linked in the Zoom chat.
Blessed are you, Adonai, who gives birth to the new generation and the universe, who creates the sun, the moon, and the Torah, who creates our past and writes our future, who gives us the things we celebrate, who gives us our family and friends, and who gives us the chance to do good and correct the bad. Blessed are you, Adonai, who protects us and helps us through our lives. Amen.
And Stella will be traveling to URJ Camp Coleman again this summer, and she is joined on the screen by her parents, Bev and Darren. Shabbat Shalom. We are going to continue now with the singing of Ahavat Olam, page 23. That is not true, page 32, as we prepare for the words of the Shema.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amecha Aveta, Amcha Aveta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta, Otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbenu uvkumenu nasiach behukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha uv'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem negei yomam v'layla negei yomam v'layla be'ahavatcha al tasir mimenu le'olamim baruch ata Adonai ohev amo Yisrael ohev amo Yisrael.
We now turn our thoughts to the idea that all of humanity is created in God's image, is created unified and at the same positioning in the world, no one person better than another, no one person less than any other. As we unite in all of creation, I invite, Lara Stanner Schulman, but I think she is just Schulman. I invite Lara to lead us in the words of Shema. Lara will be attending her very first time at URJ Camp Coleman, and Lara is joined somewhere on the other screens by her parents, Rebecca and Alan.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
Great job. I'm going to invite you to please be seated if that is your custom. We continue now with the traditional chanting of the Ve'ahavta. I ask that our newly bar mitzvah, Aiden McAdams, lead us. Aiden will be attending Camp Coleman this summer. He is joined on screen and maybe off screen by his parents, Keith and Rachel. Or just Keith.
Ve'ahavta. את אדוני אלוהיך, בכל לבבך, ובכל נפשך, ובכל מאודך. והיו הדברים האלה, אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבבך, ודיברת בם, ושיתך בביתך, ופלטך בדרך, ושוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לעוד על ידך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וקשרתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצותי, ואת קדושים אלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות להם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
And what do you say right after that, Aiden?
Oh yes. Adonai Elohechem Emet.
Yasher koach.
Nice
Aiden.
job. Very nice. Oh, I can't with my own voice. Okay, we are going to continue now on page 41 as we prepare for our song, our prayer of freedom. I'm going to ask Tivon Kabibi Wilkin to unmute as he leads us in a reading. Tivon will also be attending 6 Point Sci-Tech Academy this summer. His mother is Bridget Kabibi, who is on screen as well. Page 41.
Sing the song of men and women, joined in the understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and generations to come, the song of a land once ravaged by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of the world redeemed, the song of peace.
Great job. Oh, we are going to continue with the singing of Micha Mocha, page 40, as we join together in our prayer of freedom.
Who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you? Adonai. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh nora tehilot osei felet. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh nora tehilot osei felet. Who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you? Adonai. Who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you? Adonai. Malchutecha ra'u v'necha bokei ayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam ze Elianu ve'ameru Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Who is like you? Adonai. Who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you? Adonai.
As we sing of our freedom, we must be reminded that not every person is free, and whether that is free to love how they love, to vote how they want to vote, to drive a car, to have as many children as they want to have. No matter what freedoms we have, there are others who don't have those very same freedoms. And one of those is our ability to feel shelter. Many of us are lucky and blessed enough to live in homes and yet don't often take advantage of the fact that that's a true moment of gratitude. And this prayer, Ufros Aleinu, the prayer Hashkivenu, it reminds us that God's sheltering arms are over all of us, and that if there is no physical shelter that is above us, we have the strength and the protection of those who love us. But as long as there are people who do not have homes, who do not have places where they feel safe within those walls, we must always pursue and actively go after justice and equality and equity for all. We continue with the words of Ufros Aleinu on page 42.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom, Leshalom. V'hamidenu Shomreinu L'chaim. Ufros Aleinu Sukat Shlomecha, Ufros Aleinu Sukat Shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night until we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, our wrong from right, O Adonai. Amen. Amen, amen. Amen, amen. 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 Amen, amen. Amen, amen. Amen. Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai hapurei sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us and over all of your people. And let us say, Amen. As we turn to page 44, we have the words of Vishamru. For all of you who are attending URJ Summer Camp, which is 13 of you on the screen, this is something that is sang, I would say, pan camp. I don't know that that is the proper word or phrase, but I feel like it's Temple Israel, and we're going to go with it. This is a version that is sang everywhere, and so I hope that you will join us in the traditional singing of Veshamru.
Veshamru Bnei Yisrael et HaShabbat Lasot et HaShabbat Ledorotam berit olam. Veshamru Bnei Yisrael et HaShabbat Lasot et HaShabbat Ledorotam berit olam. Beini uvein bnei Yisrael, oti leolam, oti leolam, oti leolam. Veshamru,
look at that,
bnei Yisrael, et HaShabbat, lasot et HaShabbat, ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz veshamru bnei Yisrael et hashabbat lasot et hashabbat ledorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash. Veshamru bnei Yisrael et hashabbat lasot et hashabbat ledorotam berit olam.
So I don't know how many of you were able to catch the incredible concert last week of Joe Buchanan. It was amazing. I had never heard, I've heard now Jewish bluegrass with, who are they? Nefesh Mountain, but I had not heard Jewish country. So the concert last week, in honor of Karen Pincus, was done by her friend Joe Buchanan. And Joe spoke about this idea that many of the songs that he started learning were once drinking songs in the countries where they were from. And Yismachu, the version we just did, Vishamru, I mean, the version we just did, actually it did start out as a German drinking song. So if you are ever in Germany and over the age of 21, and you enter a pub, although that's not their drinking age, and you hear them singing something that sounds awfully familiar to your Shabbat, beloved, multi-generational family melody, it may be because that is where it started, because Reform Judaism actually started in Germany. That is your tidbit tonight as we continue now into the Amidah, the high point of our service. I invite you to please rise if you are able, Brian, for Hatzafilah, which begins on page 46.
Ya lai lai, ya lai lai, ya lai 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 lai, ya lai lai, ya lai 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 lai, ya lai lai, ya lai lai, ya lai 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 lai, ya lai lai, ya lai lai lai. Adonai, Sifatai, Sifatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagi Tehilatecha. Adonai, Sifatai, Sifatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagi Tehilatecha. Adonai, Sifatai, Sifatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagi Tehilatecha. Ya lai lai, ya lai lai, ya lai 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 lai, ya lai lai, ya lai 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 lai.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei HaKol, V'Zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, L'man Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechayei hakol atarav lehoshia, morid hatal. Mechakel chayim bechesed, mechayei hakol berachamim rabim. Somech noflim verofech olim, umatir asurim. Umekayem emunato lishenei afar michamocha ba'al gevurot umido melach melech memit umechayeh umatzmiach Yeshua v'ne'amanat lehachayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai mechayeh hakol Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, ukdoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. You may be seated as we continue now in a moment with our moment of gratitude, but first on page 55 in English at the top of the page. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find solace on this day, and may all who suffer find rest. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai mechadesh hashabbat. Amen. So we have many people joining us this evening, I think, who are possibly family and friends of all of our campers, or are just joining us new this evening because they have come on board to Temple Israel, and we're so grateful to have you. This time, we invite you to put what you are grateful for into the chat so that we can join you in those moments of gratitude and mark those moments as holy, because they indeed are. I love seeing everyone reaching down to get their devices so that they too can participate in this part of the service. Again, this is what you are grateful for. So I'm going to let you guys continue to let them scroll in. I'm going to start in the sanctuary. You want me to start with you, Mace, or start on the other side?
Oh, you can start with me.
Things that you are grateful for.
I'm actually really thankful to be here in the sanctuary here at Temple Israel tonight.
Awesome. Thank you. Louis? Going to summer camp. Jeannie? One more time. Visitors. So nice. Yeah, amen. Mark? Mark said he's grateful we're finally getting this project up and started. That makes you and a bunch of congregants. I'm gonna dust a little bit in here. Maria Ayerbe, gratitude. Thank God. You know, Maria and Brian and Isabel were super creative to figure out not only how we could have tonight happen, because you do not see this, but there is scaffolding in front of all of the cameras, but also they figured out, hopefully, how we are going to make this work throughout construction so that we can be safely, at least the few of us, safely in the sanctuary in a hard hat area to continue services. Brian, did you already share? I was really moved. Brian is grateful to everything. He was grateful. It's just grateful. And I am grateful to share the Bima with Mason tonight. This is truly a pleasure. Mason and I have done many, many services together on probably 3 different continents. So to be able to join, probably 2, to be able to be here at Temple Israel is really so special for me this evening. So let's see what everyone here is grateful for, because there is a lot of gratitude coming in. I love this. Tanta, my Aunt Nancy in Detroit, is grateful to see Ruth Greenfield on the screen. She is grateful to see someone she has never met on the screen. But I love that. Thank you, Aunt Nancy. Okay, so Mark Nedlin, grateful to have had Jack Nedlin as a father, to have given me life, give me love, and who has loved Mark Lamb as his son, even before he was his son-in-law. His memory is still truly a blessing. That is so true, Mark. Phyllis Littman, family, and the URJ for summer camps it provides for our future leaders. What you guys may not know, and I'll take this moment of personal privilege, is that Phyllis birthed and brought up a URJ camp director. Joellen Unger is the camp director of URJ 6 Points Creative Arts Academy, where Zoe will be going this summer, and also Lucia will be going this summer.
I think Naomi also is going to be going.
Naomi Zapata is also going this summer. So Phyllis, you have done your good mitzvah for that.
Also, one of my gratitudes is Phyllis, because Phyllis, you're always one of my gratitudes.
Wow, Phyllis. You're getting more love than Pat tonight. Okay, Haley Newman's gratitude is music, and Haley, you did a beautiful job on your bas mitzvah last weekend. Stella Steinbook getting involved, family, friends, health, safety, and going to camp. Love it. Jenny Litz, which might be Maya, I'm not sure. We are grateful, both. We are grateful for health, family, and camp. Laura Schulman, wow, getting her 2nd vaccine shot with Haley today. Our kids are getting vaccinated, and the opportunity to go to URJ Camp Coleman. You ladies are going to leave quite an impression on that place, and I hope they do the same to you. Everton and Renata, grateful for health, peace, love, and family. The Gorlicks on the couch, grateful for so many families that they will share in the camp experience with each other. Another tidbit, because I'm full of them tonight, Adam and Deborah met at URJ Green Family Camp. They also met at summer camp together. Jim and Sarah, grateful for worshiping in our community for another Shabbat. Brian, to be among, not this Brian Leslie, to be among the great congregation of Temple Israel. Elisa Pichenik Charles, we are grateful for Rennick. He will be graduating 5th grade and moving on to middle school. Wow.
Mazal.
Haley Newman, music again. I love it. Aiden, grateful for life, family, community, and summer camp. Diane King, grateful that my first cataract surgery was successful and I now have 20/20 in my left eye.
Hey.
Right eye will be done next week. Refuah Shleima, we hope that you have a quick and speedy recovery. Adam Gorlick, grateful to still know my camp girlfriend. Oh, that is really cute. It's Deborah. It's so cute. Oh, here we go. Reagan Rothschild. I'm so grateful for my dad because he's the funniest, nicest person to me, and I love him so much. And also me getting my second vaccine today. I had no idea all these students are getting it. And my daily bugle, I don't know what that is, Lego Spider-Man set. Also my brother and sister. I think that's Xbox, but you wrote Expo. Wi-Fi.
I just got a Star Wars Lego set, actually.
I got that. Wi-Fi, PC desk, Nanny Lily, my cat Malibu, Oxygen God, my Aunt Cecile, and the Temple Israel community. And of course, Pat and Maria, the best pianist and sound technician. Mark Lamb, hey Louie, grateful for the opportunity to teach another melting class next week. That is awesome. Alice Miller, that so many kids are able to go to camp this summer. She spent some of her best years of her camp at Camp Wayne for girls in Pennsylvania, but she says and adds, Camp Coleman rocks. Paula is grateful to everyone who donated to the food drive in May. We have a new recipient in June. Brian for his family and memories and love. Ruth Greenfield, I'm grateful for the continuity of being a life member of Temple Israel. Ruth, you sent me a beautiful piano singing of Happy Birthday, and that was such a gift, so thank you to you and Mark for sending that. Lee Rothschild, grateful to be here for services with friends and family and a roof over my head. Grateful to be involved with TI and grateful that Reagan had his second vaccine shot today, hoping more people will stay safe. Michael Graubert, as a 15-year alum of Camp Coleman, I don't think I knew that. I'm so grateful the tradition continues. Enjoy. Bridget says, for my awesome kids. Francis Siegel, grateful for my son Norman that he was able to come home safely. Yvonne, grateful for the memory of my father who is my hero in my life, for the health of my family and friends. And Norma O, proud of my grandson, Rabbi Joshua Hertzfeld, for conducting a respectful, meaningful service for his other grandfather. And of course, Zichrono Livracha, may his memory be for a blessing, Norma, and to your whole family. So we are going to mark these moments as indeed holy because they are. Nancy Cannett with a late one. I'm grateful to be a member of Temple Israel of Greater Miami. I look forward to Shabbat. We're going to mark these moments as holy, the bottom of page 57. Baruch atah Adonai she'otcha levadcha b'yirah na'avod. Amen. We take some time now to close our prayer books, but open our minds and our hearts to the words that only we can speak as we take a few moments for silent meditation. Adonai, Rock and our Redeemer, let our prayers be heard and answered, and let us say amen. It is my honor to call upon our newest Jewish adult in our congregation, Haley Newman, who was called to the Torah last Shabbat for her bat mitzvah. She is going to lead us in the singing of Oseh Shalom, which you can find in your prayer books 2 pages later on page 62.
That was amazing, Haley.
That was amazing. I was too busy typing in the chat, "Go Haley," from one of the 7 Temple Israels. You can't even tell that it was me, but I was very excited. And you know what else? Jesse, you made a great vocalist with Haley and Brenda. So thank you. And Jonathan, we did hear you doing a little Diana Ross in the back. We are talking this Shabbat in the Torah about the Torah portion Shlachacha, which means to go forth. And I think it's so appropriate in this time of us having Camp Shabbat, because this idea of going forth not only directly relates to our 13 kids going to URJ camps and their brother and sister camps. Of course, Blue Star Camp is in there as well. But it has to do with any journeys that any of us are on. We are still in the book of Numbers. We are in Bamidbar. We are in the wilderness, and it is a great unknown. It is a vast, scary, and new unknown. And yet there are ways to prepare for things that are unknown. You know, there is a Yiddish idiom that says, we plan and God laughs. And I think for many of us, that is something that our grandparents said, but that is just so true all the time. And this understanding can be relevant in so many different ways. You know, we plan for Shabbat, we walk into the sanctuary, and God laughs, right? And we adjust, we pivot, we innovate. For the past 2.5 months, Brian and I, or 3 months actually, Brian and I have been preparing our 13 campers for attending summer camp through what we lovingly call TI Goes to Camp. Brian and I sat down and thought about, you know what, we are consummate campers. That is where he and I met, that is how we both grew up. And for so many of us in this Jewish community, camp is cultural. It is not just experiential. And I thought about how, as Brian and I created these programs, and the last one culminated with the kids, the campers coming together and us discussing how do we actually go to camp and leave an impression on camp and let camp leave an impression on us. I thought about this Torah portion because in Shlach Lecha, Moses sends 12 spies into the land of Israel, into Canaan. And 40 days later, which is an important Jewish number, it's a little bit longer than a session, but 40 days later, they come back and 12 spies actually don't come back unified with their experience of camp or of Israel or of the wilderness. 10 come back and say, you know what, Moses, this place is scary. This place is bigger than us. The grasshoppers are larger than armies. We are never going to survive. We could not experience anything it had to offer. It looks amazing, but we just didn't get it. They just didn't get it. They didn't engage. They didn't open their mind. I don't know what they didn't get, but 2 of them, Caleb and Joshua, return and say, Moses, this place is totally scary. Those bugs are super big. But you know what? I think that if we could give of ourselves, Moses, to this land, if we could give our gifts to this land, if we could try to open our eyes and our hearts, we'd be able to experience a little bit more of what Israel has to offer. And so these 2, Caleb and Joshua, are actually blessed later on in the Torah with leadership roles because they were willing to stand on their own and be cognizant of the fact that they had to give of themselves to truly experience this unknown land. You know, it seems that when they insist to Moses that they could go into this land, Moses then speaks on their behalf to God and says, these 2, they're unique and they're authentic. They may not be the most popular because, as we learned, the 10 all came together with groupthink, if you're a sociologist, and said, no way, we can't do this. But these 2 stood on their own 2 feet. A lot of what Brian and I have talked to these campers about, and even their parents, is how do we go to a new place in their experience of camp? How do we all go to a new place and show up with curiosity and show up with integrity and show up with authenticity? How do we let others, even in our shyness and our own insecurities and our own anxieties, how do we let others see who we are? And in turn, as we learned from our campers, as Brian and I learned from so many of you on screen, how do we let camp or the experiences we're in change because we were there? So when you get a chance to hear all of these kids read tonight, and most of you, I think because of the nature of our congregation, actually know these kids and have watched them grow up, you know that they will go to camp in all of their uniqueness and they will benefit from what camp can offer them. But what's pretty amazing is that most of them are going to leave camp a better place as well. Through their creativity, their music, their humor, their magic tricks, they're writing their name with their toes in markers, Aiden McAdams. their gymnastics, Lana, and their music. There are so many things that so many of them have to offer all of those who are at camp. There are so many things, Temple Israel, that all of us have to offer those who are in this world. We don't go on these journeys, on these missions of the unknown just to absorb what it has to give us. We must also give back. This month in this country, in this world, is Pride, GLBTQ Pride. And although Miami Beach has moved it to September, which is when we have this huge, robust festival that we are going to put together through the Social Justice Committee in terms of services and programming and advocacy and really legislation and a lot of different things that we have in mind. This month right now, throughout our world, is talking about how no matter who or how or what we are, or who or how or what we love, that we are all, again, created equally and should have the rights and the freedoms of one another. When I look on this screen and I see that so many of these kids were brought up in a world where marriage equality was not something that they will have to fight for later on, that's pretty amazing. And when we have so many of our congregants who identify with pronouns such as they, them, or who they themselves are transitioning or are loving themselves exactly how they are and who they are, I think Temple Israel may be one of the most unique places in the world, not because of what we publicly put out there of who we are, but because actually of who we are. The fact that we do love our neighbor as ourselves. The fact that we do practice what we preach. The fact that our bima is beautiful because of who is on it and how we show up and who is in our congregation and how you show up. So if I have one bit of advice for the 13 of you going to Jewish summer camp this summer from Temple Israel, it's to take two things with you. Now, for many of you, you pack duffel bags that I have seen your bodies inside of, Aiden and Laura. Thank you for the photos. Pack two things. One, pack an open mind. All of us can remember and be reminded that especially when we are most anxious, most nervous, that if we can keep our mind open, our expectations don't let us down. We don't have the expectations. We're just willing to accept and take in and celebrate what gets put in our place. And the number two thing that I want you to pack, it is not the 17 pairs of underwear that all of the parents had to go out and buy that are oddly on the shopping list. The number two thing to an open mind is an open heart. Because what you are going to experience at camp, what all of us experience in the unknown, are new possibilities and opportunities for who we can be in this world. You are going to meet some incredible people, and they are going to meet your incredible self. You get to be anyone you want at camp, and I hope you choose to be exactly who you are. Because when you return back to camp, and when your parents unload those duffel bags, please God, in the garage or outside, because there are all sorts of bugs and orange clay that are going to come out of them, let you unpack confidence. Let you unpack wisdom and curiosity, Jewish love and knowledge, new friends, but most importantly, let you unpack exactly who you want to be, because you are being given the chance for 1 month or 2 months to explore who that person is. When you're in these walls, when you're at Temple Israel, when you're in your parents' homes, you guys are pretty incredible people, but when you get to go out on your own and explore who you are, I can't wait to see how you change this world and this congregation. And for all of you parents, not only those of you who are sending kids to camp, but all of our congregation, parents or not, if we can look at new opportunities in our lives, whether scary or anxiety-filled, if we can look at them as possibilities and an opportunity to be brave, to be scared, and to do it anyway, we're going to learn from these campers. We're going to learn we need to pack an open mind and an open heart so that we can unpack an authentic self without judgment from one another, without judgment of ourselves. I hope that tonight, when we are able to bless all of you going to camp, that even those not going to camp, all of us who wish we were going to camp, can remember an experience in our lives that we were nervous to go into, but that if we had not experienced it, we would not be the people in this world that we are today. So I am going to ask Mason to come up as we join together in a song that, although I feel like I don't even want to tell them what it is, because like they're gonna laugh. Deb, I already see you laughing and you don't know what it is. As we join together in True Colors, Cyndi Lauper, I want you to listen to the lyrics, because this is all about being exactly who you were meant to be. B'Tselem Elohim, created in God's image. Shabbat Shalom. The words are in the supplement.
Sad eyes, don't be discouraged, oh I realize it's hard to take courage in a world full of people. You can lose sight of it all, and the darkness inside you can make you feel so small. But I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors are beautiful, like a rainbow. Show me a smile then. Don't be unhappy, can't remember when I last saw you laughing. If this world makes you crazy, you've taken all you can bear. You can call me up, because you know I'll be there. And I'll see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True, I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors, your true colors, they're beautiful, like a rainbow.
Beautiful, like a rainbow. We are going to turn our thoughts now to those who are in need of healing, those in our lives and in this world and in this room and on this screen, ourselves, Jews and non-Jews, anybody who really could use a prayer for refuah shleima, complete and total healing, because there are so many of us who feel somewhat depleted, somewhat broken, somewhat in need of a refill. So I invite you to enter those names into the chat, or say those names in your hearts, or those names out loud. I'm going to ask for those names in the congregation, in the sanctuary, and then we will join together in a moment on page 253. Any names for Misha Berach? Nice. Maria? And so we join those names with the names that are being lovingly placed onto the screen, as well as that are being said in our hearts, because God needs no language, although sometimes we think we do. As we join in these words, Mishaberach Avotenu V'Imotenu, Avraham Yitzchak V'Yaakov.
Adonai, love me, Adonai, love me, Adonai, love me, please love me, Adonai. Adonai, guide me, Adonai, guide me, Adonai. Guide me, please guide me, Adonai. Inspire. Adonai, inspire me, Adonai. Inspire me, Adonai. Inspire me, please inspire me, Adonai. heal. Adonai, heal me, Adonai. Heal me, Adonai. Heal me, please heal me, Adonai. Adonai, love me, Adonai. Love me, Adonai. Love me, please love me, Adonai.
Mishaberach Avotenu v'Imotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sar Rivcha Rachel v'Leah Hu Yivarech et HaCholim Ha'ele HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yimalech HaRachamim Alehem L'Hachalamam U'Rapoatam U'Hachazikam V'Yishlach Lahem Mehera Refuach Shleima Min HaShemayim Refuach HaNefesh V'Refuat HaGuf Hapishta Ba'Allah B'Izman Kari V'Imru Amen. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless all of those who we have mentioned. And may the Blessed One, holy be he, be filled with compassion for their health and restore them to strength for a complete and total healing. May God swiftly send them to a complete renewal of body and spirit. And if that happens in a way we don't understand or in a timeline that makes no sense to us, let us be comforted by the fact that our prayers are heard nonetheless. And let us say, Amen. At this point, I'm going to ask all of you who are going to summer camp to go ahead and rise. And all of us as a congregation are going to rise because I'm opening the ark. But if you are going to camp, put your animals down. I see lots of pet check-ins going on. As Mason and I are going to bless you in front of the open ark on your way. And we'll do so now. So it is said in Judaism that It is said in Judaism that we all are on our own unique journey, that every experience we have, every person who comes into our life is there for a reason. Some are lessons, some are blessings, some are both. But that if we are open-minded, if we have an open heart, that we too can let them in to create part of who we are. We stand on the shoulders of so many, but let others stand on our shoulders as we move forward. As a congregation, we look forward to you coming back, campers, and telling us all that you have experienced. We look forward to you leading us on this bima as congregants who have a love for Judaism, who continue your love for music, for Jewish life, and for midot, for values. Parents, we bless you for being brave and willing to send your kids to camp. It is the best gift you can ever give your child, the gift of independence, the gift of love and of trust to know that when you send them off, they are being co-parented by incredible staff. For all of our congregants who are attending camp this summer as staff, we bless you as well, because as you lead these children in the ways of how you live your life and through your values, you also make sure that we grow in health and in strength, chazak v'chazak, from strength to strength, as a community and as a world. And to our congregation, when we receive these people back into our congregation, back into our home community, may we ask them what they learned, who they met, how they found out what they were passionate about, and how they were able to experience a life that we only can experience 1 or 2 months out of the summer, that we count down, right? So many of you told me, Rabbi, I count down from the minute I get home from camp until the minute I'm gonna go again. I was one of those kids, I get it. May we as a congregation lovingly welcome you back in, because I'll tell you, coming back is the most difficult part. So we welcome you and we send you off with the same love that we will receive you home with. As we say, Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, may God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha, may God's face shine upon you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. And may you be blessed and have the love of God come through you and onto others as we create a more healthy and more complete world. Amen. We turn now to page 282 as we remain standing for the words of Aleinu L'Shabeach. I hope you will join us in this blessing. Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, lateit gedula le'otzer breshit, shelo asanu kigei haratzot, velo samanu kemishbechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegoralenu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ ומושב יקרוב בשמיים ממעל ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים הוא אלוהינו אין עוד אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו כך כתוב בתורתו וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך כי אדוני הוא האלוהים השמיים ממעל והארץ מתחת אין עוד ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו echad. You may be seated. In a moment, we will join in the words of Kaddish, but first we turn to page 290, where Zoe Zapata will lead us in a reading. Zoe is attending 6 Points Creative Arts Academy this summer, and we are so proud. So we're going to find Zoe. Zoe will lead on page 290.
When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands, by letting bodies touch bodies, and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away.
Beautiful. Thank you, Zoe. Zoe is the amazing child of Naomi and Javier. We are now going to continue with our thoughts on those who are no longer with us physically, but who are with us all the time. I really believe it. I think that we hear them, we speak to them. They place notes and memories and sounds and songs around us all the time to remind us that not only are we not alone, but that they are with us. And so I invite you to enter the names of those loved ones who you're thinking of into the chat, or say those names out loud or in your hearts. And in a moment, we will join the names of our congregants with those names, and then join our hearts together so that although the torn heart never truly heals, we can comfort one another with our shared love. Any names in the sanctuary? Maria? And so with all of those names written there, we think of the following names in our congregation. Most recently, Siegfried Hertzfeld. Joined in their yahrzeit, the anniversary of their death, we think of Leonard Leroy Abbas Sr., Franny Krause Adler, Gerson Bakar, J. William Barros, Miriam Bass, Samuel Blumberg, Gertrude Bressler, L. Stephen Broida, Adele Block Cohen, Edward Cohen, Thelma Israel Cohen, Roseanne Cohen, Doris Sarah Cromer, Leah Cronin, Selma Khan Danbaum, Leonette E. Danner, Louis Davidson, Anna Elias, Hattie Fierstein, Mendel Fried, Isaac Gelb, Theodore Jarrow, Ben Glazier, Harold Armand Gottlieb, Sidney G. Greenstein, Julius Halprin, Frank Kabik, Ida L. Kahn, Esther G. Candel, Paul Kapelau, Libby Kaufman, Oscar Arthur Lerner, Alfred G. Levin, J. Gerald Lewis, Lillian Lieberwitz, Shirley Lober, Madeline Marks, Jack Nedlin, Myron M. Newman, Norman Ostro, Lawrence Reckles, Samuel Reese, Morris Rich, Joseph A. Richter, Alan N. Rogers, Tilly Rosen, Harry Rosenthal, Joseph H. Ruffner, Anna Ruskin, Clara Sanders, Jacob H. Shatman, Hortense Schwartz, Harry Siegel, Murray Solman, Alfred R. Stein, Philip S. Wallach, Bernard Wexler, Robert B. Werner, Stephen Wertschafter, Ellen Michelson Wine, Joan Wine, and Sydney A. Wine. If I mispronounce your loved one's name, I'm sorry, and I invite you to repeat that name where you are as I ask our entire congregation to please rise. If you are able to, we turn to page 294 for the Aramaic words of the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, b'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon uv'yom echon, v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, b'agalau v'zman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mivarach leolam al me'al maya, yitzbarach v'yishtabach v'yitzpoar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'rechu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories forever be a blessing and a lesson for how we live our lives. And let us say, amen.
Amen.
You may be seated. In a moment, we have Traveler's Prayer, which is so appropriate, I think, for those going to camp, for those of you going on vacation, for those of you going to bed. It really doesn't matter where you're traveling to, but we should all have the blessing. I do want to remind everyone that tomorrow morning we have services beginning at 10 a.m., followed by Joseph's Torah study at Joseph's Table at 11:30. Sunday, we have our final religious school, Sunday school. And Tuesday, we have our final Hebrew school. We hope that you will also check the e-blast this morning for a lot of other information that is going on, including everything that the Social Justice Committee is doing and that the Symphony is doing, and that so many people are putting together for all of us to make sure that we do not just be good people in the sanctuary or in our congregation, but that we spread out into the world and help others, not because we're Jewish or because we can, but because we're human beings, and that is what human beings should be doing. So we are, I'd like to thank all of the camp families. We are not yet done, though, with our camp readers, although our final reader has fallen asleep, but that is okay. We are going to join in Traveler's Prayer. I really wanted to thank Mason from the bottom of my heart for sharing the bima with me. My parents could not be more proud of you this evening, as I am as well. And our congregation is grateful to have you here this evening. So we are going to join in this words of Traveler's Prayer. I believe that, are they in the prayer book? I'm gonna yell them out. You go ahead. May you be blessed as we go on our way. This is how we start.
May we be blessed as we go on our way. May we be guided in peace. May we be blessed with health and joy.
May this be our blessing.
May this be our blessing.
Amen.
Amen.
Now, amen.
Amen. Amen. May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen.
One verse is good verse. We are going to.
We're going to close with our next verse.
Oh, the reprise. We are going to, I don't think is she awake? I think that I will do Motzi on behalf of Lana. Yes, Karen? Yes. There's Karen. Okay, I will do it. So we will join together. You know what's so nice is we haven't been able to do the brachot so much since we've been in Zoom, but we have so many kids going to camp and we needed a part for everyone, even the sleeping ones. So I will say the Motzi on behalf of Lana. Lana's mom is Karen, and her one set of grandparents that you all know. We have Nora and Ted Weinrich are her grandparents. So we are going to, and Lana is going to URJ Camp Coleman. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen.
Amen. Oh, sorry, Jeannie. Sorry. It's okay. It's okay. No waffles, I guess, out of that part. Okay, so, French toast. And I will lead us all in Kiddush because that is what we will do. Page 4. Vayera vayiboker yom hashishi, vayachulu hashamayim ve'aretz, ve'chol tzevam, ve'chol Elohim bayom hashvi, melachto asher asa, vayishvot vayom hashvi, mechol melachto asher asa, vayivarach Elohim et yom hashvi, ve'akadesh oto kivo shabbat mechol melachto asher bara Elohim la'asot. Savri. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zicharon l'maaseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh zecher letziat Mitzrayim ki banu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta michol ha'amim ve'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava uvratzon inchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat, mekadesh haShabbat, mekadesh haShabbat, mekadesh haShabbat. One more, mekadesh haShabbat, mekadesh haShabbat, mekadesh haShabbat, mekadesh haShabbat. Amen.
Chaim.
L'chaim. We are going to join together in the reprise now, the second verse of Traveler's Prayer. May we all be blessed as we go on our way this Shabbat and always.
May we be blessed as we go on our way. May we be guided in peace. May we be blessed with health and joy. May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen.
Last time, amen.
Amen. Amen. May this be our blessing. May we be sheltered by the wings of peace. May we be sheltered by the wings of peace. May we be kept in safety and in love.
May
grace and compassion find their way to every soul.
May this be our blessing.
May this be our blessing.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. This is really the last one. Amen. May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen. Shabbat shalom.